Welcome, Matrons. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be painting these Star Wars shoes, and I don't know why I decided to do this or film it, but I did. Well, I decided to do it because my coworkers were painting their shoes in different ways, and I was like, you know what? I want to make my own. So anyways, I'm going to do like a little bit of a tutorial to show you how I did it. Let's get started. So, starting off here, you are going to need some shoes, obviously, and I use these shoes. They're old shoes. They kind of look a little dingy. I cleaned them as best as I could. You can obviously get new shoes. Next time I do this, I'll probably get new shoes, but I just wanted to give it a shot, and so I use these old shoes. Next, you're going to need some paint, and obviously with shoes like this, the best paint to use would be fabric paint. I didn't have any fabric paint in the colors that I needed, so I just used regular acrylic paint, and it's holding up very nicely. So with the paint, you're obviously going to need some paint brushes. I mean, that's kind of obvious, so I'm using these right here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually take a pencil and just kind of map out where I want BB-8 to go. And with this, I actually ended up drawing him a little bit bigger than I really wanted to make him, so I did make him a smidge smaller in the end. I just like to map out my designs to know what I'm doing, plus to mention I didn't want to saturate too much color on where the character was going to be. Yes, the paint would cover over it, but it would be harder to cover it. So I just mapped it out. Then I started doing the galaxy look. Now my galaxy looks, I kind of always do the same. So I start with a darker or brighter blue. In this case, I took a brighter blue. And I just start with it very, very watered down and kind of just spread the color out as much as I can. And it's okay if it's blotchy. It's actually better if it's blotchy because that's what you need with a galaxy look. So in this case, I actually decided to go with teal colors as well, kind of to match the shoe, even though the teals that I put down are more vivid than the teal of the actual shoe. Now with galaxies, it's always good to add some pinks and purples as well. I stuck with just purple. I didn't want too much color, and I took that and added that in. And again, I just kind of like blended the colors out, just spread it out and made it look as good as possible. Again, I was okay if it was patchy. After I have that laid down, I got some white paint and I went ahead and took a little tiny brush and just dotted little spots all over the place for the stars. Now I also like to make little clusters of 3s and 2s and sometimes even 4s to make the stars look more natural because they go in clusters as well, and I had some that were just by themselves. In some spots I even put little plus signs as like little shining twinkling stars in the distance. Alright, next is doing BB-8. So the best thing to do, which is what I did, is look at a reference photo because, I don't know, you have to paint the character, and so I had a reference photo up on my phone as I was painting this, and so I got some white paint and just filled in the base of BB-8 here. After having a nice even layer and it has dried because it needs to dry, I went ahead and took a little bit of gray paint, which I just mixed black and white together to get the gray, and I started adding some detailed lines and shadowing into BB-8 to separate the head from the body, and then add some of the detailed lines on the face and some more of the other little details. It's kind of hard to explain like exactly what I did because all I'm doing is following the character's picture, so in the end you can go ahead and just look at a reference photo and do what you need to do. I now am letting that dry a little bit more because the white was still a little bit too wet. It was starting to make the color look a little bit fluffy and not as vivid, so I decided to step back for a second with that, and I grabbed the same colors I used for the galaxy and add a galaxy design on the side of my shoe. A lot of this is going to be kind of repetitive. And of course, going to the other side of the shoe, I'm doing the exact same thing. I really like galaxy designs. I do galaxy a lot. It's really fun. Now once that's done, I decided that the little, I mean you can't really tell in the picture, but the little line that's going around the top part of the shoe, or seam I guess it is, it is really, really dirty. So I was like, I need a color to go on there to cover that up. So I decided to go with purple. Of course, you can go with whatever color you want, but I decided blue would be too much blue. Teal would make the rest of the teal shoe look really dirty. So I went purple because that was the only other color that was really in there, because I thought white would look ridiculous. It doesn't matter what color you pick. You don't even have to do this part, especially if you have new shoes. But I decided to do it. So I put purple around all the sides of the shoe. Top seam. God, I can't talk. Once that's done, I went back to painting BB-8. I got some oranges and added all those details, and so on and so forth. This is a really hard thing to do, is paint such a tiny character on a not flat surface. So, you know, take your time, be patient, and just get it as done as you can. And also remember that if you do mess up, you can always just take some white paint once the paint underneath is dried, and just go over it and like sharpen up the lines. That's what I did, because some of my lines just weren't sharp enough for my take. So, you know, there's always options, but this is a hard thing to do. It's such a tiny character on a not flat surface. Once that was done, I decided to paint the back of the shoe, and I went with the rebel symbol. You can pick whatever one you want. Again, this is not an easy thing to do, is make a nice little circle. So this is probably the derpiest looking thing on the shoes. Alright, next shoe. So the first thing I did is I again mapped out the character, and I decided to go with K2. So he's my favorite character, and I was going to go with R2-D2, you know, one of the more common favorite characters such as BB-8, but I couldn't. I love BB-8 and I love K2, and I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing K2. I don't care what everybody else says. These are my shoes, okay? And again, once K2 was mapped out to the best of my abilities, I went ahead and took some of that blue again and just did, you know, same thing. Blue, purple, teal, did the galaxy look just the same. Once it looks pretty good, I actually didn't add the stars yet in this point, but I decided to take the gray color and cover the whole design of K2SO. Then taking black, I added some of the shadowing into K2SO, and I started adding some of the detailed lines. He was much harder to do than BB-8. Then grabbing some white, I'm going to add some shine into his head and onto his eyes and onto his body, and kind of just give him some more life, some more detail, make him stand out, because the gray makes him kind of fade into the galaxy, and I want him to stand out, so I made sure to add enough highlights around him. He still doesn't stick out as much as BB-8, but that's to be expected since BB-8 is white. And then of course, moving on to the side of the shoe, I'm doing the same galaxy look. Again, taking that purple and running it along the top seam. Now for the back of the shoe, I wasn't sure what to do, and I took a minute to like actually decide, and I decided to do two lightsabers in like an X formation. I did a red one and a blue one. I have never painted lightsabers before, so this was just kind of like a weird time to learn to do so. So yeah, that's what I did. I kind of wish I did lightsabers on both of them because I think it looks a lot better than that symbol, but you know what? Who cares? This is my first custom painted shoe, so. And yeah, that's it. So these are my custom Star Wars shoes. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun painting them. I'm actually thinking that maybe I'll paint some more, put them on Etsy or something, but no, what do you think? Would you buy them? Because I would buy these. I've had a few people ask me already when I've been wearing them out and about if I'll paint them some, and I'm like, heck yeah, it's fun. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this weird video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me any other ideas on art-related projects, and I shall see you guys next time.